Hi, welcome to episode 7 of this video series of my journey through grief and healing and this album that I wrote about my daughter Blakely after she passed away. So we're on track 7 and we're sticking with the theme from the last song of the bargaining stage of grief. So this song was actually, there's an old guitar part that I used that I had written, and I think in high school, as the foundation of the song. And it was one that I always thought was really pretty. I'm pretty sure I had lyrics and a melody to it, though I don't really remember now what it was. I probably could find an old recording of it. But I used that as the foundation of the music for the song. So there's a lot of repeated lines or phrases in the lines from this song. It talks about things that I would be willing to do to see Blakely again. And I think when people go through such, a loss of someone so important and unexpected, that's a pretty common feeling to have or thought to have. Like, what wouldn't I give up to see that person again? So we're going to listen to a few parts of it. I'll show you just the original guitar part, which kind of gets buried in the mix, honestly, a little bit, but it's the foundation of the song. It adds to the presence. I think part of the reason it gets buried in the mix is because there's a lot going on, but it's also because I'm self-taught mixing and I mixed this whole thing myself. So that's a little bit of the reason why. So here's the guitar part that I based everything around musically. And then here you can hear everything together. You can kind of hear it. It gets a little bit varied. And then there are there's one other guitar part recorded twice, layered. So before the singing comes in, I'm finger picking, or actually using a pick, I think. And then as the singing comes in, I just strum. Changes the feel a little bit as the singing comes in. So here's the first verse describing what I would be willing to do to have her back.
I would jump through a ring of fire. I would walk on a tightrope wire to hold you again.
And then it repeats some other lines of what I'd be willing to do to hold her again or to see her again. The tightrope wire one is interesting because I'm terrified of heights. It's my biggest phobia, I guess, if you will. I have a really difficult time climbing a rock wall, even just, up to 10 feet. I have a hard time with regular ladders. I mean, I'm terrified of heights. But, those are, I think anybody that's been in my position would understand what you would be willing to do to see that person again. The chorus, we'll take a look at the chorus as well. It's just repeats it, kind of a hook that you're so far away.
But you're so far away.
Listen to just the vocals here.
You're so far away. It's so long until that day, but I will wait.
And then, of course, my wife Rachel is singing there in the chorus as well. I'm gonna solo just these reverse guitar parts, which I think I did that in the first song, but Most of the time I did 4 different parts, and this one I only do these 3. And then something that I'm going to do really quickly here is change it back to not being reversed. I'm trying to remember how I did this. It's been a little while. There we go. So here's one of them not reversed, and you can hear it says just that part repeated over and over, but with a reverse effect on it. Here's the second one. I'm playing the same thing as that very first part of the picking part. Usually I did something totally different, but for this song, I had those parts that I was actually playing in the song, or something very similar. And usually I was playing those with the pick, but in this song I I finger picked that part. And then here at the end we have the third part of the MIDI track, Angel Face. Again, it's just kind of spread throughout the album, a little chunk here and there, giving you a little Easter egg at the end of a few different songs. And then I'll have in the description the link to the video where you can actually see the MIDI and listen to the whole thing from beginning to end. This is definitely up there as one of my favorite songs on the album. It's one that I've always thought was just a pretty song, and obviously they're all very meaningful to me in terms of the lyrics. But even after going through grief and feeling like I've gotten to a point where I feel pretty normal and I feel happy, it still resonates with me. Just, I can't wait to eventually see Blakely again. I strongly believe in an afterlife. There are some experiences that I won't share to everyone on the internet that have, in my opinion, affirmed that belief. But I truly believe that I'm going to see her and be with her again. And so this just expresses that, wishing that that I could see her now instead of waiting another, potentially 50 years. So this song and the rest of the album will be released on July 10th. So I'll have information in the description for pre-ordering it, or where you can stream it or buy it. Any profit that I make from streaming or purchasing 25% of it will go towards the research of SIDS and SUDC. So if you're able to contribute, I appreciate it. And in the next video, we're going to talk about track 8, which is titled My Heart.
But you're